Warning, the following video will contain content that is not appropriate for children. Viewer discretion is advised. Alright, welcome back everybody. This is going to be the last Pokemon Battle Revolution rant battle that I do for today. So if you guys have not, again, watched the previous videos that I have done today, I would recommend going back and watching them. So that way this one will make a lot more sense, because this kind of wraps up what I've been talking about the past 3 videos. That being the issues that I had over this past weekend at my workplace. Just honestly some really dumbass fucking shit. So, needless to say, again, if you want to get the specifics on the exact issues that I've had this past weekend at my workplace, go back and watch the previous videos. So, on Sunday, after I had been done getting really pissed off on Friday and Saturday, because both of them were just shit days, I went into work on Sunday. I kind of knew that the GM, general manager, would be there. And I had been working with her for many years, back when she was just a bartender, Now she's the GM and whatnot. So I kind of knew she would be there. So, I figured it would be a good time for me to air out my grievances, because after how the last couple of days had gone, I was just, again, I was livid. Like, visibly livid. And again, I'm one of those kind of guys, I'm like 99% of the time, I'm pretty relaxed and laid back. So, when I do actually get angry, I go all out. Like, I don't just get angry, I jump straight from being relaxed to, like, complete, like, blind fury, basically. So, I was just pissed. So, I basically go in and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I just need to have a conversation with the, with the general manager about this, because this is just bullshit. Like, I'm just way too damn frustrated with how things have been going lately. And I need to talk with her about it, so that way we can get some things hopefully resolved and get some other shit figured out, So, and to give you guys an idea, you may not know this about me, and you may actually find this kind of surprising, because, considering that I'm a YouTuber, you guys may find this surprising, but I actually do legitimately have mild social anxiety. So for me to actually, like, confront someone face to face is a big, like, mental hurdle for me. It's not easy for me to actually do. So for me to actually be pushed to the point where I was actually going to go to the GM and be like, hey, I have some fucking issues, let's talk about this, that's a big fucking deal for me, Not gonna lie, I spent, like, the first hour of that shift just kind of, like, getting up the mental capacity to actually go talk to the general manager about that stuff, because, again, I mean, and this is someone that I've known for years, but even still, I have issues with confrontation. It's just not my forte, because, again, fucking stupid-ass social anxiety. And I know it's stupid. I know it's a stupid fear, but it's just one of those stupid-ass things that's just imprinted in my stupid-ass brain, So, finally, I, get up the nerve. I'm like, alright, you know what? I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. I cannot keep my mouth shut any longer. So I go to the general manager. I'm like, hey, we need to talk about a few things when you have a minute. So she's like, alright, got a minute right now, because we weren't super busy at the time. So we sat down and kind of hashed things out for about a good 30 minutes. I kind of told her why I was, so damn frustrated and pissed off. One of the other things, too, that really pissed me off, and I did not, because this pissed me off at first, but then I realized, I shouldn't really jump to conclusions on this, because it may have been just, they might have just accidentally made a mistake on this. But I've been working at the same place for almost, again, 6 years. So, like about a year ago or something, I was finally given a raise. You know, so I was making $9 an hour, including my raise, because minimum wage at the time was $8.25. But this past year, minimum wage in this particular state went up from $8.25 to $9.25. So then, you know, they switched everything in the system so that way, you know, the hosts would be getting paid $9.25. And I was kind of expecting that my pay would go up to $10 an hour because it would include the 75-cent raise that, you know, I had gotten before for, you know, all my hard work for, you know, the previous however many years I'd been working there by the time I got that raise. So you can imagine I was a little bit disappointed when I got my check that past weekend and I discovered that I was getting paid $9.25. And I don't mean to sound like elitist. And I even told the, you know, general manager, you know, when I was there, I'm like, I don't mean to sound elitist, but I'm getting paid the same amount as the other kids who have been here for a matter of months. And I've been here 6 goddamn years. You know, and I'm like, again, I don't mean to sound like elitist or anything. And, you know, I actually really like our general manager. You know, she's a very reasonable person, I think. So then she's like, yeah, I'm gonna, contact the boss about that and stuff. You know, and I made it very clear. I'm like, I'm not trying to be like, sound like, you know, I'm being elitist or, you know, above it all or anything. Because that's one thing I've always tried to do is just, I try to stay humble. I really do. At least when it comes to work, when it comes to my YouTube channel, fuck no. I'm not humble at all. I enjoy being a douchebag, but, you know. It's all in good fun, you know. I don't actually genuinely try not to be humble. I do really make an effort to try not to act like I'm above it all, you know. Just because I've been there 6 years, you know. I'm just another host. That's what I've always said, you know. I've been there 6 years, yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm just another host, you know. So, again, I made it abundantly clear. I'm like, I'm not trying to be elitist, but I've worked my ass off the past 6 years. I think I deserve my goddamn extra 75 fucking cents an hour, you know? Just saying. And she was like, yeah, no, that's totally, like, reasonable. So she's going to talk to the owner about that. She still hasn't gotten back to me on that yet. But it's only been, like, literally 1 day, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I just aired out, like, all my grievances. I gave her some suggestions of things that we could do to help make the place run better. Because, you know, I want things to run smoothly. Because it makes my life a lot easier when things run smoothly. So, I was just pissed after how the last couple days had gone. And so, I wanted to nail some things down, get some things right. Because part of the thing, too, is that I know the hosts up front have to double-check the carry-out orders to make sure that they're correct. But I feel like whenever there was a mistake on the carry-out orders, a lot of the blame was being put on the hosts. And the expo people, the ones who put the food together and back, are the ones who are supposed to be responsible for doing their job properly in the first place. And I feel like we were getting an unfair level of the blame when there was, mess-ups with the orders. And I told the GM that, the general manager, I'm like, look, honestly, I don't think it's fair that, we're catching basically like 80% of the blame for, mistakes on carryouts. I don't think that's fair, and I think we need to hold the expo people responsible for doing their jobs properly, And I don't think that's me being a dick. I think that's fair, to hold people, to hold them responsible for doing their jobs. And I'm like, and I understand that part of the blame should be on us for, because we are supposed to be double checking the orders. So some of the blame absolutely should be on us. But at the same time, I feel like an unfair level of the blame is being put on us. And the expo people need to be held more accountable for that. So I told her, I'm like, we should just have the expo people like actually go through on the physical tickets and double check every single item off on the carryout orders to make sure that every single thing is in there. So I gave her a suggestion as far as that's concerned. We did do that. The expo people didn't like it, I could tell. They were kind of annoyed with me, I think, but I was really pushing that. And I'm going to be honest, I did feel a little bit better about the whole situation after talking with the GM. You know, and I greatly appreciate her, you know, letting me kind of vent a little bit and, you know, get my frustrations out. And, you know, actually listening to me and, you know, all that good shit. Again, I really like our GM. I think she's, you know, an intelligent human being. You know, reasonably intelligent. Reasonably reasonable, you know, so... you know, she listened to me, listened to what I had to say, all that good shit. Because I'd also been having some issues with servers because I told her too, I'm like, you know, it's been my understanding that from the time servers clock in to the time they are told that they are, you know, cut, as in they can go home and they're not taking tables anymore, that from the time they clock in to the time they are cut, they're expected to take tables, right? Because I've had way too many servers come up to me and be like, no, I'm going to be let go soon, you know, they're going to let me go home soon, probably, so don't give me any more tables. You know, and I'm not a manager, so I can't really force them to take tables, but now I'm going to start forcing them to take tables, and I'm going to tell them, you know what, if you have an issue with it, take it up with the manager, because I don't get paid enough to deal with your bullshit. Like, again, I love all the servers, I really do. But sometimes they can take advantage of the system, and it annoys me. You know, if you're here, I expect you to do your job until you are told that you are good to go home. I expect you to do your job when you're there. You know, especially if it's still a little bit busy and the server's just like, nah, I don't feel like taking any more tables because I'm going to be let go soon. It's like, no, you're still here. I expect you to do your fucking job. So I kind of told the manager, you know, I told the general manager about that, and she's like, yeah, no, that's bullshit. I'm like, okay, good. I want to make sure I wasn't completely crazy, you know? So it was a good, productive meeting I had with the GM. I feel a lot better after talking to her. I'm still a little bit frustrated about some things. Just kind of the way it is, but I do legitimately feel a lot better after, you know, having that meeting with the GM and, you know, airing out my grievances and all that good shit. And it was funny because later that night, we implemented some of the ideas that I had, you know. We, you know, had the expo people actually go through and double check, you know, check off everything on the tickets physically, even though sometimes they were getting a little bit lazy with that, and I had to get on their ass. I'm like, hey, you guys fucking do this. You gotta do it. I know it's annoying, it's a pain in the ass, but you gotta do it, you know? So I was like on their ass about that. And again, I felt kind of bad because I feel like I was being a bit annoying with that, but it is what it is, you know? So we implemented a lot of the ideas that I had, and lo and behold, we actually had like a flawless night. We had not a single issue on a carryout. I just find it amazing. It's like when people actually listen to me and listen to what I have to say and actually like listen to my ideas for, you know, how to improve shit, it's amazing how well things go. Like, there was a few weeks back when I recommended that we have 5 servers on the dining side instead of 4. And so they decided to schedule 5 servers, and we had a perfect night. It was smooth, no mistakes. So when people listen to me, because again, I've been working there 6 years and I actually know what I'm talking about sometimes. When people actually listen to me, it's really amazing how well things actually go. So I do genuinely appreciate the GM, you know, actually listening to me and taking my advice, you know, because when I suggest things, you know, things tend to work out pretty well, you know, and they did, because later that night we had not a single fucking mistake on a carryout order. Not a single mistake, because they actually listened to what I had to say, listened to my advice, and implemented my ideas. And it worked. Not a single fucking mistake. So, hopefully going forward they listen to me a little bit more. Again, I'm still a little bit pissed that the owner, doesn't trust me enough to give me my own manager card, even though, again, it's literally just a good idea because, again, it makes things more efficient. But yeah, after this past weekend, I was just pissed. But I did legitimately feel a lot better after talking to the GM. I feel like we got a lot of things nailed down, and it was a good, productive meeting, I feel like. So it's a good template for... We figured out a lot of stuff that, would be a good template for things moving forward, I feel like. So long as we stick to that template and implement everything that I, suggested and stuff that I said and whatnot, and even stuff that she said, because she had a couple ideas of shit as well, of shit that we could do to make things, better. And I'm like, yeah, this is a good idea, So me and her were pretty much on the same page, which was good, That was good to know that I wasn't completely losing my mind, So me and her were on the same page there. So things were all good. So it was a good, productive meeting with the GM. Again, I'm still a little frustrated, but is what it is. So hopefully some things get fixed around there at my workplace and things run smoothly and we don't have any more issues. So yeah, again, it's just amazing what happens when people actually listen to me and take my advice. Things tend to go pretty well. At least that's been my experience. Again, I'm not a fucking wizard. I can't predict the future or any of that shit, Not everything I suggest always works out, but more times than not, it does. So, I don't know. Either way, hopefully this is a step in the right direction. Again, I'm still a little frustrated about not getting a manager card, but is what it is. Again, I just thought it would make things more efficient, more than anything. So, yeah, I mean, we nailed some things down. I feel like, again, it was a very productive meeting, so hopefully going forward, things at my workplace will be a lot better. That's what I'm hoping. Because the last thing I need in my life is more goddamn stress. I get enough of that from just being alive as is. Alright, well, either way, guys, it's going to be it for today. Probably be back a little later doing some other stuff. I'm not entirely sure. Again, because I don't know where I'll be at by the time I get around to uploading this shit. But, yeah. Should be good. Alright, anyway, guys, I'll see you all next time. Peace out.